How many of you guys, like me, are like, all right, I'm learning Tekken. I don't know what the hell is happening. I'm a Street Fighter player or I play some other game and everybody's just flailing. Like this tweet, common beginner answers to how do I beat throw in Street Fighter. Hit light punch plus light kick, usually while crouching in uni. Pretty simple OS for newcomers. You do 4 AB, 9 AB, then hold 3 for 1 frame, and then plink 6 ABC. Easy. This is the one they teach you in the tutorial. And then Tekken, mashing so hard the friction is melting the buttons. What throw? But I figured I would offer some advice. How many of you have been playing Tekken and your first thought is, man, all my opponent does is mash every second. My opponent is an actual caveman scratching their inputs into the walls. Here's the secret. You're also a mashing barbarian. You may think you're slightly more sophisticated, but you also don't know what you're doing. In fighting games as a whole, when you're new, you both just try to kill each other with whatever moves you have. You're in that stage of the game. And in a game like Tekken, the person who's on offense has a huge advantage. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I've had so many games where I win the first couple of rounds or I win the first game, and my opponent realizes like, oh, this person knows how to run some kind of offense. So all I'm gonna do is start the round with the heat thing, do my 50-50 and then run at them and then just do it again. And if I hit them, then I'll probably win. And if I don't hit them, I lost. I can't win if the game is not me on offense right now. That's the strategy at my level of play. Learning offense and learning combos is very easy. Like, how many of you know how to do a basic combo in Tekken? And how many of your opponents know how to do a basic combo in Tekken? You learn your mid, you learn your low, you learn your fast like high checks, and you learn like some kind of basic mix up with a grab or something, and you're good to go. You have like these 4 basic concepts and you're good. How many of you know how to block and punish like 10% of the things your opponent is doing? Not even close, right? Defense is really hard to learn. You have to know every character in the game's options and what they're weak to and what the best risk reward is. Like, okay, when this person's gonna run up and mix me up, if I step left, crouch for a second and stand up, it covers these options and it's safe to these things. And the only thing I can get hit by is X or Y, or if they delay that. Like, you need to know your opponent's character and how their offense works. And at the level of play you're at, you barely even know how your character works. And that's most people. The odds of you figuring out their offense before the game ends, unless it goes to like game 3, is not that high. Any character that has a low that's like pretty good that you can just do over and over is so good against other new players. It beats the armor from the heat, and every person on defense is just constantly mashing the heat. All of this is normal. You're not gonna understand how defense works at all. And the other thing that I will mention is, in this game, if you're new, if you're blocking a string and you've never seen it before, don't mash. I promise you, the worst thing you can do when you're new is be like, this string looks over, and then hit a button. Most of the stuff that you're blocking probably has like a high or 2 in it, and you don't know how to duck and punish it. And it probably also has some kind of weakness, but you just don't know what it is. It's very rare that the string's main problem is it just dies to someone mashing. A lot of the stuff you run into, you're gonna get mad at and think it's scrubby or dumb. I played against a Paul player who all he did was like throw out down forward 2s or like death fist or something, and then if it didn't work, he would mash the shoulder. If that didn't work, he would mash the heat. And if that didn't work, he would mash the rage art. And he knew a combo. And then every time I got near him, he just would swing with the biggest possible thing he could over and over and over. And if you're sitting there thinking, this person is such a scrub, if I was good, I would kill them. If you're thinking that, then that person's gonna beat you in this set. And the future, where you could beat them in history when you play the game for 500 more hours, doesn't matter, because you're losing the match that's happening right now. You gotta stop and think, what kind of despicable, degenerate, day one things can I do to beat this guy? You gotta find the right balance, because when you're new, there's a combination of things that you're gonna do that are not good long-term, but are really good at beating the new players you're playing against, and learning how to beat their stupid, dumb bullshit that you're gonna have to beat long-term anyway. I think Tekken is a game you can form such a degenerate, scrub-only killing strategy and make it so far. You can play like an absolute dingus and just make up a strategy that's so stupid and so hard for other new players to punish and deal with, and you can just knowledge check people for forever. It's impossible for everybody to know everything about your characters. And if you just do some scrub busting, stupid stuff, it's probably going to work for a long time. It's only until you fight someone who's very good that that won't work. By design, this game is like this. Every character in the game has something like this, where they can just do these weird knowledge checks that you have never seen in your life and no one will ever do to you again. And that is part of what makes the game kind of cool, because you'll see new, weird, stupid things all the time and you'll be like, what is this person doing? But it's also what makes it hard to learn as a new player. You can play this game for a long time and be like, I'm so bad at this still. When you're new and you're down here and you're trying to make it to the middle, the amount of people who are right around in this range who play like complete ignoramuses are gonna piss you off because you're like, I'm trying to play Tekken correctly. You're gonna run into that a lot. And it's fine. That's their objective. Their objective is to do something funny right now. And your objective is to like learn how to play the game and be good in like 6 months or something. Not even 6 months. Like you'll probably be way better in like 2 months. Like I'm so much better at the game today than I was when the game launched. But I'm also still really bad. And it's really easy to get pissed playing Tekken. Dogra put out like a long time ago a list of the games that make him mad when he plays fighting games. And at the very top, he called it like punch the monitor or punch the cabinet tier, was Tekken. It's because it's one of those games where if your opponent decides that they want to play for fun and you decide you want to play for serious, when they beat you, it does not feel good. Like look at this clip, right? Look at this bear player. This bear player is good. This person is way higher ranked than most people, right? And like, look at what they're doing. Like, you know, this person is having an excellent, they're fucking cackling on the other side of their house, right? Like they're having the time of their lives playing like a fucking shithead. They know they're playing like a shithead, right? Like just being an absolute despicable demon. And this person rage quits on them. And like, yeah, dude, like, like this person knows. Look at the way the bear is judging you. This is how Tekken is. Tekken is such a frustrating game when you lose, dude. And I'm sure many of you notice this too. When a new fighting game comes out like this, your matches are varied in terms of the kind of player you run into. One match, you run into somebody who's like your rank and they're clearly also new and they also suck. Then the next game, you run into someone who's like 2 ranks lower than you or 2 ranks higher than you. It's like fighting Arslan Ash. You're like, okay, this person is moving different. They're fighting different. Why is this green rank dude 8 times better than the red rank I just played? And then, like the game just came out, so not everybody's skill level is properly fleshed out. A lot of the people who are experienced Tekken players, they got a job, so they couldn't play until the weekend or something. Players are trying out multiple characters, and like let's say their main is at like red or something, then that means their secondary is at like green or, you know, orange or whatever, and so like they're just gonna climb up. The game is still trying to like solve out where all the players belong. It's normal. Just give it some time. The skill levels will balance out eventually and you'll be playing people who you're supposed to be playing. To summarize, don't get mad at your opponent playing like a caveman. You're also a caveman. Don't mash on random strings that you don't know, because 99% chance you're just gonna get counter hit and die. Don't worry about losing in rank. The ranks haven't been solved out yet. These things are very normal. And if you're new to Tekken like me, this is what I did. And I did this all the way to orange ranks with these like 4 things. The first thing is this character has a jab check, right? That is safe on block. And then the last, it's hit confirmable. I just like see that it hits and then I do 1-1-2 and I'm good. You should find a jab string that's safe that you can check with your character, even if it's just like 1-2 or something. The other things that I did was I found a move that was plus on block. So in her case, it's her forward 4. And then I found a fast mid check after, which is her down forward 1. A 13 frame down forward 1 is like pretty normal. And it has a high follow-up, so you can do boom, boom. Or it has a mid follow-up that is really nice to have. The other thing is the low that you want to use with this character. You either use Hell Sweep or you use her down back 2. You have to understand that high attacks, like this move or this move, if your opponent is ducking, then these high attacks will just go over their head. So you want a mid so that if your opponent is ducking because they're scared of your lows, right, like this move, if they're scared of your lows, you want a mid that can just check them. A lot of characters will do stuff to you that's like really big, unsafe lows. So blocking and then knowing how to do while rising punishes, or blocking and knowing how to do a full crouch punish is quite important. When you're crouched in this game, this is like, you can think about this like a stance. Hitting my buttons while crouching, they have different attacks, they have different things. If you let go of crouch, that's also a stance. It's called like while standing or while rising. It also has different normals. So this is holding crouch and doing down, back 1, right? And then if I hit 1 while I'm standing up, I'm going from crouch to standing. This is a while standing 1. Knowing how to crouch and then do a while standing punish, this is very important. Now, obviously, like, this is a big load, so you can do something like this. So, you know. This is like one of those things that if you haven't learned how to do it, it's really gonna help you a lot. But the biggest thing for offense for me was all I did was this move, this, and then hell sweep. Basically it. If something's unsafe, I go boom, boom. Jabs like these that are fast, these are your punish tools or your checks, like ways to check your opponent and what they're doing. If something needs to be a mid check, I go boom. I want to check low, I go boom, or I hell sweep. If I need a launcher because something's unsafe, having a launcher that's 15 frames is really nice. You know, punishes rage arts. These are basically the tools that I use. This game is really easy to mash in, and it's a game that you can play for thousands of hours to master. There's a long road to mastery if you're interested. The part of the game that sucks ass, for most people, is when you're no longer mashing and you're not at mastery. Most competitive games are like that. Because what happens when you stop mashing and decide to get good is that you won't beat mashers consistently, and you won't beat masters at all. But that's how most things are. That's the like, you know, when you learn an instrument and you just learn like some song you like and you just like play the chorus and you're like, wow, I'm so good. And you're like, maybe I want to learn this seriously, and you actually start practicing the instrument and you're like, I can't do any of this. You're just doing dumb shit too, which I know is what you're saying. You're saying like, yeah, I'm doing stupid shit and it doesn't feel good. And my opponent's mashing stupid shit and it also doesn't feel good. And the answer is like, I mean, you're both just learning. Like, what do you want to play fucking clean in the beginning of the game? You can't. And if you play stupid too, then you have a chance of winning. And that's how it is in the beginning of the game. And you're gonna take a lot of losses that feel really shitty when you're trying to do that. Your goals have to change, right? You can't care about winning right now, because winning right now means you just flail and do the stupid shit and hope for the best. And winning long term means, you know, you need to lose today to learn so that you can start winning in the future. Your objective as a player is different now. And part of that means you gotta fucking take some losses to some morons. Because those morons they don't care. They're not trying to win tomorrow. They're not even gonna be playing the game tomorrow. When you get good at the game, they're not gonna be playing Tekken anymore. They're gonna be playing Dragon's Dogma 2. They'll be playing fucking Elmo and Fortnite, and you'll be over here throw break training against King. It's why I told Boxbox like, I gotta learn red rank. I'm gonna practice Korean backdashing and learn all this. And I'm like, no. If you want to hit red rank tomorrow, you're not gonna get there by getting good at the game. You're gonna get there by learning better offense and cleaner like pressure. Because if you want to actually get good at the game, it's going to take a long time to get good. Like, if you want to win at the beginning of the game, a lot of it as a new player is just like, you can't try to play defense or play in a way that's like effective for long-term learning. You got to just smash your offense against their offense and hope your offense is better.
Oh my god, you gotta attack before he gets the gun party.
Oh my god, that shit it does that on hit? Victimo. Yeah, Victim of Ritual is pretty fucking good player. I'm not surprised. Or Boxbox trying to play honest neutral while people go monkey on him. Have you seen him play? He is not playing honest neutral. He's literally just doing Asuka back 3 over and over and over and over and over and over. He does not have a long-term strategy to play the game, which is fine. I coach Boxbox in Street Fighter, right? And when I coached Boxbox in Street Fighter, I didn't say, all right, so you want to learn how to play Street Fighter? Okay, we're gonna like go over how frame data works. I understood that the way he wanted to learn and play Street Fighter as a new player was like, he wanted to do funny stuff. He was playing on modern, and these are the kinds of things that he wanted to do. FDX has been teaching him Tekken, and he is losing his mind at how Boxbox plays. He's like, we gotta teach this guy some frames. We gotta teach this guy this. We gotta teach this guy that. And it's like, he's not here to learn any of this shit, okay? He's here to do some backflips and make it to red rank. And like, you're trying to teach him how to play the game next month. He's not trying to learn that shit. He's trying to go kill the other guy right now. So like, when I first started coaching Boxbox, I was like, okay, here's the stuff you want to do to win right now. And then as he played weeks over weeks, he would run into people who would beat the strategies that he was doing before, like better players. And then he had to relearn new better pressure or new better combos or new better neutral strategy or whatever, right? But in the beginning, you equip them with the tools to deal with their environment. Like you don't give them a parka, rope, and climbing gear for like the goddamn Himalayas or Mount Everest if they're not gonna make it there for months, you know? Like you give them a hatchet and some water and you're like, good luck out there, champ. Like, because otherwise they're just gonna get bored or beat up or whatever. Give them the shit that's gonna help them win against this fucking idiot in ranked right now. The idiot I'm about to fight.
Listen.
Every Street Fighter player plays Paul. I don't like that. Also, personally, every Paul player I play against is the dumbest human I've ever met in my life. Just from my experience, they just do a jab on block and you're like, interesting, maybe I should, and then I like shoulder, and then they run up and do demo man. And I'm like, you really are just like huffing some fucking paint or some shit. Like you just are like so unreasonable. This is how you live your life, and you know they do that shit every round. Their dump stat is in for sure.